Canada West, and Merry Christmas again. It's getting closer. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the shepherds in the Christmas story. And the phrase that has struck me from the second chapter of Luke is that when they left, they told everyone. And all who heard it were amazed at what they said. And I've thought about, who did they tell? In the middle of the night, was anybody around? Maybe it wasn't the middle of the night anymore. And maybe it was all those people registering. Maybe it was the people that couldn't find a place to stay. Maybe they went up and down the streets of Bethlehem and said, "You won't believe what we have seen. And we just want to tell you." And people were amazed. They must have been convincing. And I just think that we often miss the important part of the shepherds. We think the reason that the shepherds are included in this story is because they were humble and lowly and of no great import. But I think it's more than that. Jesus, the good shepherd, came to the shepherds first because he knew that they would tell everyone. And we need to be thinking about how we can tell everyone. I want to share with you a video that I was privileged to make this week with a gentleman named Kafoa. He is the field strategy coordinator for the Church of the Nazarene in the Melanesia field in the South Pacific. And he lives in Papua New Guinea and he supervises there. And he's an amazing man. He's a Harvard-trained lawyer. He is an ordained elder. And he is just a man of God. And he has imported a business model into his strategy that just melds so wonderfully with the message. And he has seen amazing things like doubling the membership in a year and things like that that I would love you to hear. So please listen to this interview with Kafoa and think about how we can partner with them, how we can be like the shepherds, and how we can tell everyone and convince them of this Savior that has come to us. I've spoken to you a few times, and you have shared with me about the growth of the Church of the Nazarene and the evangelism that has happened, and just the amazing things that have happened, even despite COVID and all the things that have happened. Would you share with us just a little bit about what kind of exciting growth and new works have happened in the last couple years in Papua New Guinea?
Yes, in terms of membership, and let me maybe take one step back. Now, this growth would not have happened if I did not have a local team. So the first point, the first strategy was to strengthen the field team, the FSC's office, because if we don't have facilitators to work with people on the ground, we will be imposing a lot of expectations without guidance, without encouragement, without assistance. So that was the first phase that I did, was I engaged a few national leaders and I employed them to work for my office. And so we then identified what's needed on the ground, and then we began to partner with them. So we came into 2019. In 2020, we doubled our membership.
Wow.
Because, a lot of it is to do with paying attention to the actual way that we report. Also identifying children. We have many children that are not part of the church, and I know that some districts have reservations on that. My belief is that if we want our children to be part of us, we need to recognize them and embrace them, and then we disciple them.
Awesome.
And so we included that. We also focused on a lot of, in Papua New Guinea, as you know better, there's these associate members, there's these half members, and I said, the kingdom of God, we have to be very careful, because these are all man-made definitions.
Yes.
So I said, I'm not going to change this until 5 years, but our goal is we need to intentionally identify these members and disciple disciple them so that they progress to full members. Otherwise, it's like, these are assets that are liabilities and we're doing nothing. It's either we sell them or we rehabilitate these assets so that these assets so they become credits to us. So that's another way. And then, I find that when I came here, we just keep giving numbers to every district and every local district. I said, no, every number must have a name. So I need names. So then when they start doing names, then they realize that a lot of names they've left out. And so because, when they're doing reports, I'm just like thinking, okay, so I said, you must have names. So next year, and when there's a change of pastor, they work from the names. And when we have names, then we know which names in our community that we are not including, which we need to either include or visit them and bring rehabilitation, discipleship. And then it became intentional. I mean, one of the things that I said, we do a lot of crusades here. But crusades is okay, but, we need to start visiting people in the communities. And if we know the names, then we say, okay. So one of the things that I did was I said, the strategy that I did for P&G was a business model. Everyone just keeps saying 100,000, 100,000. They had this model, this goal for the last 20 years. I said, okay, we are going to target 100,000, but in 3 years, and not 10 years, not 15 or 20 years. So we divided. So I said, so if I have a whiteboard, I can show you. But basically, instead of everyone carrying 100,000, I said, let's bring it down to the local church. So as an example, for instance, we had 70,000, or 27,000 when we came. So I said, then 73,000 is all we need to hit the 100,000. I mean, I'm just using statistics, but always remember this. When I'm using statistics, every number represents a soul, represents salvation, represents eternity. So I'm confining my discussion to numbers, but it goes beyond numbers, to souls and all of that. So I said, you divide 73 by 14 districts of Papua New Guinea at that time. And we came to about 5,000. And I said, then you divide that by the districts, and then you divide by the number of local churches. And then it came down to only about like 17 or 15 a year for us to hit 100,000 in 3 years. And I said, so your local church carry this number rather than carrying 73,000 or 15,000 or 5,000. You carry this. Now you cannot tell me that in 12 months, 52 Sundays, you cannot bring 17 members to the church. So I'm not saying for you to go and force someone from the streets. I'm saying you pray and then visit and invite people in the marketplace, people in the streets, your family and neighbors. Invite them who is not going to church. If you intentionally go and invite them, 17 is in fact is a joke. You should be looking at 70 and not 17. And so they all got excited, and that's where how things began to move. They realized that, man, it's so easy for us to do this.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's not a profit and loss kind of approach in terms of getting numbers. Yeah, it's kingdom souls. And when you bring it down to 17, it's not a big task after all. But all this is, everyone is carrying 100,000. I said, I want 500,000, but I'm going to start with 100,000 so that none of you will have a mild heart attack and be sent to the hospital and ABC responsible for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. What would it mean for Pastor Dorme and the new Madang district to have a permanent training center? What kind of things could happen there?
Well, at the outset, I would say the positive impact will be huge. And the reasons are, in the last meeting that I had with Dorome and their board, I think that was a few months earlier, we've identified new areas in the Madang area, because Madang is a big place, as you know. We've identified new government districts where the church has not been. And so what we have done is there's a lot of lay pastors who are working and who are positioned there, that we are training them so that they progress towards a local license, but also to be equipped. And so for the church to progress, whether we are strengthening existing churches that are almost quite passive, whether we are strengthening existing churches or we are developing pastors who have reached their maximum and they really need some empowerment and enrichment and even training, or we are training people to go to these new places. It requires a center where we can bring them on a certain weekend or for a few days and present a workshop with a more holistic, from training them in terms of pastoral to financial accountability to how to plant churches, how to develop relationships in the community, and also how to record those things, statistics back to the district. These are all basics, and then how to begin to develop different ministries. These are all huge in as far as if you want to do it properly. And so, the idea is a building like the one that we're working on. This will be a building that we will do that sort of training for pastors. The NYI that we're empowering leaders to also support these pastors. The women's ministry, where women have been sort of put on the, they've been kind of the ones that fall victim very easily in this community. So there's women for training, there's clergy for training, but also there's a lot of women that needs support.
Yes.
Basics. The women are very prayerful, and so we want to also have specific workshops to empower women, even to the extent of talking to them on their legal rights. If they have those things, how can they approach the courts to help them? Because a lot of them are going through so much, as well as children, the teachers. So this building here will be fairly occupied once this building is done. What I suggested to them is to have a schedule, Jerome and his team. So women will be using this month here for their 2 or 3 workshops, pastors, and so they all know that. And then they come to one place, and that place cannot, apart from providing the training, there is a side space where they can use to cook their food and camp in there. So it's a lot easier.
Yes. As a district, Canada West has lots of roots in Papua New Guinea, and we would love to help and partner with you as much as possible. What could we as a district be praying for? How can we be a partner with you in Papua New Guinea, and especially with this Madang district? How can Canada West, what kind of specific things can we do to help you?
In praying, I believe that if you can pray for the district leadership to be able to identify emerging leaders, and also for men and women, pray for unity in this society here. Very easy for this unity to arise, and pray that the Lord, through the work of the Holy Spirit, will continue to bring unity, to bring team effort, teamwork. The other thing here is that important. Pray for team attitude, team effort. These things are very basic in many societies, but they're very crucial, because when this unity filters into the organization, we can bring as much as we want, but it's half the time the resources are used to try and bring healing and restoration rather than enhancing the work of God. And so I think these are very key components. Embracing women in the society, in Madang, for instance, pray that there will be an opening of heart and mind and attitude towards embracing, empowering, and recognizing women in leadership, in pastoral standing. So when it's recognized that it's not just a statement, but it's an action also. So those are important prayer points, I think, embracing and then paying attention to children's development. That's important, I think.
Well, we sure will do that. I will be passing on your prayer requests to our district, and we want to do everything that we can. We're going to do our best to raise funds from our perspective to help with this. We're really looking forward to bringing a team to help construct it, and we just want you to know that we want to be Aaron and Hur and hold up your arms as Moses in Papua New Guinea. And we thank you, Kafoa, very much for what you're doing for the Lord and for this wonderful nation. And I can assure you that our hearts are with you.